Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel and my name is Parvati. Today in this video, I'm going to address some of the most common problems that every single English learner faces in their journey of becoming fluent in English. And towards the end of the video, I'm going to give you some practical, effective solutions that will make your English learning journey much more comfortable and easier. Okay, let's get into the video. Okay, if I ask you to go for a hunt in your mind and bring out all those problems that trouble you the most while speaking English, then I'm sure you will definitely come up with a list of problems with lengthy explanations. And the list would be something like I fumble a lot while speaking English, I make many mistakes while speaking in English. I lose my confidence when I start to speak in English. I have this issue of mother tongue influence while speaking English, and I feel severe inferiority complex when I speak with people who are more fluent than me. And I sound good when I speak English to myself and my close friends, but words will not come to my mind when I speak with someone outside of my comfort zone. The list will go on endlessly, right? I have mentioned only some of the most common problems that anybody can easily relate to. So the thing is, you have been facing all these problems for a long time now, and you are extremely fed up with them. You really want to get rid of all these problems. You really want to get rid of all these problems and become good at English. But there is something that is holding you back and not allowing you to free yourself from these problems. Right? Yes, I understand you. I understand all your problems. Because ever since the very first day when I started to learn English, I have been fighting with the same kinds of problems that you are facing right now. So you are not alone. You are not alone in this journey. It's not a big deal. Let's handle it together. Okay? Okay, you have a friend now, right? You have a friend now. You have a friend who knows and understands your problems. Why I could understand your problems better is because I have myself experienced all those problems in my life. So that's why I said you are not alone. Let's handle it together. Okay, look at me. I'm speaking in English, right? But I want to tell you that I wasn't like this 2 years before. Yes, I wasn't like this 2 years ago. You can see my English is not in this video. I'm speaking in English, but you can see that my English is not that good and not that bad. I'm somewhere in between, but I would say I'm reasonably fit in this language. But I wasn't like this 2 years ago. Then it is obvious that I have done something for myself to attain this level of fluency. Yes, I did something, and that is what I am going to share with you today through this video. Okay, the first thing I did was acknowledge all my problems. When I acknowledged all my problems, I found out one big truth, and that is all the problems we face while speaking English are the various destructive forms of that one biggest enemy residing within us. Yes, there is one big enemy residing within us. We all know him because we have been carrying him all the time. He is none other than fear. Yes, fear is the most destructive, dangerous enemy residing within us, the worst companion of our lives. He is the reason behind all our problems. He is that destructive force who is holding us back from speaking good English. First, acknowledge this. Fear is the root cause of all our problems. Whatever problems we face while speaking English are because of this fear. Sit somewhere, relax, think, and ask yourself, why do I face all these problems when I speak English? Your inner voice will give you the most honest answer, and the answer will be same. It's because of your fear. That's it. So the technique number 1 to speak good English is revealed here. and that is acknowledge all our fears. Okay, now moving on. The most common fear that every single English learner faces is the fear of making mistakes or the fear of being judged or mocked by people because of their poor English. We are feeling this because we are somewhat surrendered to our enemy. We have given complete control of our thoughts, words, and actions to this fear. And now this fear is dominating us like our boss, and we are simply obeying him like a puppet. But you know what? There it's absolutely okay to make mistakes in English because English is not our first language. We were not born into that language. We are not really accustomed of speaking that language. So it is highly probable that we will make mistakes when we speak this language. Whenever we try to learn something new in our lives or whenever we try to do something new in our lives, we always face fears and end up making a lot of mistakes. That's absolutely human. It's natural and absolutely human. Tell me if there is anything that you have learned without making any mistakes. It's impossible to learn something without making any mistakes. Dare to make mistakes, dare to be judged, and dare to be mocked because that's how actual learning happens. Mistakes, humiliations, and judgments are the best educators who can help us to improve our English. Then what happens if uh, these are the best educators? Then we meet these educators only if we come to this real world and attempt to do something. Then think about a situation if we fail to meet these educators. Will we ever be able to speak good English? No. So, no matter how bad your English is or no matter how many insecurities you have, start speaking in English with all your flows. Today, right now, and throughout. We are not going to be fluent overnight. It's going to take time. Over time, we will improve. Day by day, month by month, year by year, we will improve. So trust this process and start speaking in English with all your flows. Okay. Don't care about what others will say. People will say anything. Let them say anything. We cannot fasten their mouth. No matter what we do, there will always be naysayers around us. We cannot do anything possible to avoid them. What we can do is just ignore them and start speaking in English with all our flows. When we speak English with all our flows, what we are doing is like we are facing our fears. We are facing our fears and building confidence to present ourselves in a language outside of our comfort zone. So we are doing such a great thing to ourselves. So technique number 2 is out here. What is that? Face our fears. We will make mistakes when we try to speak English, but there is nothing wrong in it. If you say somebody is laughing at you when you try to speak English or when you make any mistakes, that means there is something wrong with that person. You are absolutely fine. You are doing such a great thing to yourself. So don't be embarrassed about what other people will say. Let them go. When we speak English with all our flows, some genuine people will be there for us. They will point out our mistakes and correct us. Accept it with respect. Don't be ashamed of that. Don't be ashamed of that. Those people are really helping us to improve our English. They are actually giving us a hand to take the next step in our English learning journey. Learn from them, thank them, and move on. Don't sit with your fears. Don't sit with your fears. If you are bothered too much about making mistakes and being judged by people, then you are doing such a grave damage to yourself and you will never be able to speak good English. If you are not allowing yourself to speak English because of your fear, then how would people correct you? Nobody can correct you unless you speak something in English. Think about it. I'm telling the facts, right? I hope that you agreed to my points till here. Now, some people might come up with another excuse like, I feel very inferior when I speak English with people who are more fluent than me. Actually, that is what is very important in this process of English learning. Speaking with people who are more fluent than us is going to greatly benefit us because we can learn a lot from them. We can observe their style of speaking, the way they pronounce words, the way they construct sentences. We can learn a lot from them. So don't lose that opportunity just because of our petty fears. Use it. We can learn a lot from them. Maybe 95% of those people are going to avoid us, but the rest of the 5% will definitely help us. We feel very inferior because we believe that those people are very perfect. We believe that they are very perfect. No, nobody has born perfect in this world. Nobody was born perfect in this world. What we see in them is the transformation that has happened to them over time. If we ask somebody who is good with their English communication skills about how they attained fluency, then we can get to know about the stories of their struggles and humiliations they had faced during the initial phases of their learning. Those stories will definitely inspire us to continue our journey, to continue our English learning journey. So they too had faced fears in their life. Had they surrendered to those fears, they would not have attained fluency. So don't feel inferior to others. Just use that opportunity wisely. Coming to the mother tongue influence, I would say just leave it. Just leave it. Because we are overly concerned about this mother tongue influence. But as I mentioned earlier, we are not born into this language. Then how could it possible to sound like native speakers? So leave it. Okay. When we speak a language, it's all about what we speak, not how we speak. That means more than your accent, people are going to remember you for the words you exchanged with them. You got my point, right? Okay. Okay, I hope that I have discussed so many points here. We have identified fear is the root cause of all our problems, and we have acknowledged all our fears, and now we are ready to face our fears. Okay, so it's time to sign off today. But before that, I'm telling you again, don't feed your fears. Don't feed your fears. Dampen its growth by facing your fears one by one. Come out from his clutches. Come out from the clutches of fears and work for your dreams. Whatever your dream is, whether it's to become good at English or to become something else in life, it's very difficult to carry fear along with you. But unfortunately, we cannot completely avoid fear from our lives because fear is a part of human emotion. We can only control it to an extent. Okay, then control it. Don't let any of your emotions to control you. Don't let fear to control you. Okay, that's all what I wanted to share with you today, and it's time to sign off. I hope that this video has provided you with some useful information. I believe that you will enjoy this and learn from this. Hit that like button and share it with your friends if you find it useful. Do you want to see me again? Then subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon. Bye.